It's championship night. Everybody we talk to tonight is a state track champion, and they're all here at the Broad Street Market tonight, and we're excited about it. We're starting with the Reading Rangers and their head coach, Debbie Price. That's right. Give her a nice round of applause.
Thank you. Am I supposed to turn around?
Debbie, congratulations on the championship.
Thank you.
You guys had an incredible season.
Yes, we did.
30 years as the track coach at Reading,
Yes.
a couple of state titles.
Yes.
I would imagine winning state championships never gets old.
No, it does not.
When you went into the season this year, obviously you knew you had a pretty stacked group. Did you think there was a chance that maybe this was possible?
Yes. Last year we were state runner-up, and I knew coming back we had all of those things, plus some freshmen coming in, and I knew we were in the running, so it worked out that way.
Michelle won, obviously we've had Michelle on a few times. Michelle Davis won a 300 hurdle title last year.
Yes.
Obviously her sister Jenny was really, really tough last year also. And up and down the line, what I didn't realize was up and down your group, you have a lot of top-notch performers all the way through your team, don't you?
Yes. When we hit the track, almost every meet, and honestly the state meet seemed a lot like a home meet. Once the running event started, we finished first almost all the way down, from distance to sprints, relays. We just covered it all, really.
With Michelle, we had talked to her a week or two before, and she qualified in 4 different events, including the 300 hurdles and the 400, which were back-to-back.
Correct.
And she told me that some people think, well, it's better to pace yourself and maybe not do all of them that you qualify for. She said
that is true.
She said, I'm doing them all, and she won 3 out of the 4. Did you have to think about that? Was it a tough decision, or was it a no-brainer?
Well, I kind of felt like it was a no-brainer, but I wanted Michelle to be the one to make the decision about that back-to-back. We had done it a few times during the season, and we knew she was capable, but coming in seated number 1, and we were hoping for more rest time with the hurdles, not quite as much as we'd wanted, but I really thought she could win both at the state meet if we had enough rest.
What is it about her? She wins the state championship last year in the 300. She comes in this year and wins 3 out of 4 state titles, 1 relay and a couple of solo events. She's got to be one of the top kids you've ever had.
Yes, she is. We always compare athletes to Erin Dillon, a former athlete, and Michelle certainly has met that standard. She's a hard worker, dedicated, and obviously has a little bit of talent.
Yeah, I think I could be hardworking and dedicated and not win a state championship, so you have to have some God-given ability, and she certainly has that.
I have to say the 100 hurdles, she just started this year, and her first meet 3-stepped every one of them, which is pretty, you don't see most athletes 3-stepping their first meet running hurdles. So my husband was the one that has been trying to convince her of running those, and she finally decided she'd try it out, and it's a good choice.
She told me that you also made the decision last year to make her compete in the 300 hurdles, which is something she had.
More him than me, but I thought she would be good at. Yeah. We knew she was a good 400 runner. If you're a good 400 runner, you're probably an even better 300 hurdler if you've got the form.
Now I have to ask you, because there was a blip on the radar this year. You went undefeated during the year. You go to the team. What was it, Mitka?
Mitka meet.
You lose to Pittsford. Now, Pittsford had an incredible season.
Yes, they did too.
So they had an amazing year, obviously, but then you go to the actual MHSAA state meet, you blow everybody out. What happened during that team meet?
Well, at the team meet, you can take your entire team, and it's kind of based on the depth you have. And Pittsford's been tough all year. We've gone against them 4 times, and, they've all been close. So at the team state, if you have 3, I don't know. It was close. Just didn't pull it off. And Pittsford certainly deserved that,
We've talked a lot about Michelle. Jenny wins 2nd in the 200, 3rd in the 100, obviously involved in some relays as well. She is an amazing junior also on your team.
Yes. She has that same work ethic as Michelle. She actually went in seated a little bit higher than that, but the competition in the 1 and the 2 were tough, and we knew it was all going to be within tenths of a second. So she just is committed to, working hard at practice and giving it all on the track.
Beyond the Davis kids, obviously you have a stacked roster. You mentioned
Yes.
Teddy Zimmerman and Alyssa and Tressa and Caitlin, and the list goes on and on
Yes.
of kids that contributed big time.
We have depth
Yeah.
like, most other teams don't see 6 sprinter deep, with, when I say 6 sprinters, I mean 13-2 in the 100, 27s in the 200. We've just been really fortunate, but it's just the depth we have in those events. And we have young throwers coming up too. I have to say, we've done okay in the throwing events. There's freshmen. I see those getting better too coming up in the next year or so.
You mentioned that not only did, of course, you win the state track meet with your team this year, you have some individual winners, but you got a nice academic honor as well.
Yeah, we just found out we were the #1 academic team in the state for Division IV, and to me that's as exciting almost as winning on that Saturday in Hudsonville. So I guess the work ethic in the classroom, shows there too, not just on the track.
Well said. Michelle Davis standing by. Let me talk to her for a minute, and then we'll talk to her sister Jenny. It seems like Michelle's on our program every other week. But I haven't talked to you since the state track meet. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You did it to me again. I texted you after the meet and I said, how did you do? And she said, the team won the state championship. Wouldn't give me any info about the individual events. And that's kind of how you've been all the way through it. But let's talk about those individual events. You knew you were ranked first in the 400. You won that. You won the 100-meter hurdles, second in the 300s. Which of those did you feel like you had the best race?
Probably the 400 was my best. I just tried to sprint the whole thing, I guess.
Didn't hold anything back for the 300s?
No, I thought about that beforehand, and I knew that I shouldn't just hold anything back. I need to give it my all, and what happens in the 300s, I have to worry about that when it comes
How close
up.
was that? You got second in the 300s. How close was that?
It wasn't that close. She beat me by a good second, probably. She ran a good time. I didn't have as much left as she did at the end.
Now, there was a story in the Daily News that you gave one of your medals to somebody. What happened there?
Oh, no, that was Jenny.
Oh, we'll talk to her about that in a second. Mixing up the Davis girls here at Reading Track here at the Broad Street Market. So you win a relay, you win 2 solo events, second in the 300s. Your team wins the whole thing. When you realized that the team won the track meet, how exciting was that?
It was amazing. Actually, when we figured out we won, it was actually before the mile relay, and I still had to run that, so I was just like, get focused and everything. Then after I crossed the finish line of the mile relay, it really hit me, and I was just so happy.
So you're actually training right now for another event. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I got invited to the Midwest Meet of Champions, and that's a tri-state thing, so all divisions of Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan go, and they invite a couple people for the events, and so I got invited for the 400 and the mile relay.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
You had an incredible year. Let's talk to this girl, your sister here. Jenny is a junior. She was the runner-up in the 200, third place in the 100. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What an amazing season. You have to be pretty proud of your big sister, right?
Yeah, just a little.
So talk about your day. Obviously, you're in some relays that won it all, and then second in the 200, third in the 100. Take me through that 200 where you got second place.
It wasn't exactly a close race. The girl that beat me, she actually got the state record in it. So she beat me by almost a whole second, but it just felt good to get the points for the team.
What about the 100?
I was ranked really well going into it, but I knew it was going to be a really close race because everybody's just within a couple tenths of each other.
Could you beat Michelle in 100?
Probably not.
Yes.
Michelle says yes, she could. You've never tried it, huh?
No.
Now, will you do any hurdles next year, you think, or will you stay to what you're doing?
No, I will not be doing hurdles next year.
Her coach has one look on her
Miss
face,
Price
but
really has a change of heart.
you like to sprint,
Yes.
and you're pretty darn good at it. Runner-up in the 200, third in the 100. You won at least one on the relays, too, right?
We won the 4x1 relay and the 4x2 relay.
So 2 state titles on the relays. That's got to be super exciting.
Yeah, it was really cool. We were expecting to do well, but I don't think we were really expecting first in both of them.
Awesome, awesome. Teddy Zimmerman. Teddy Zimmerman. Pass the mic over to Teddy. Teddy, how are you?
Great.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
You're a state champion.
I am.
So what did you win it in?
The 400 and the 800 relay.
So 2 relays. And in that 400 relay, you're running 100, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be, the precision on the handoffs has got to be on point, right?
Exactly on point.
How much did you practice that?
Every single practice.
Which of the legs were you in the race?
I was the third.
So what's your job as the third leg, other than just run really fast?
Make sure it's all on point. It has to be on point. You know, with handing off to Jenny and Michelle, I got to be a part of both of them. Or, you know, through the season, it was wonderful being a part of their teams and their. I don't know, it was amazing.
Were you surprised how well you did?
Yeah.
A little bit?
More or less.
Tell me about Alyssa Kinney. Where's she at? What does she do?
She's a long distance runner.
She runs.
An
Get over here,
amazing
Alyssa. Let's talk to you
long-distance
real quick. We've been talking to the sprinters. We need a perspective from the long distance. How are you?
Good, how are you?
So what did you do at the state meet?
I did 3,200 relay and the mile relay.
And how did you guys place in those?
We won the mile relay and we got 10th in the 3,200 relay.
Well, let's talk about the mile relay.
Okay.
You each running a quarter there, obviously. So you're sprinting that 400 as fast as you can. Did you feel good? Did you know you had a chance?
We knew we had a chance, but it didn't feel good.
Really?
I mean, you have to push yourself, and it's the longest sprint that you can do.
Everybody argues about this. It's one of the great track debates, but you know, there are a lot of people that claim the 400 is the toughest race.
I am with them.
You would agree with that?
Yeah, completely.
It seems to me it would be the 300 hurdles.
I've never done that.
That
but
last hurdle has got to be like 25 feet tall.
yeah, I give props to Michelle. for doing
You know how
it.
tired your legs are and everything.
Yeah.
So you guys win a state championship. I mean, the community of Reading had to be just stoked about that, right?
Of course they did. I think that's why we pushed ourselves so hard, is because we knew our community was right there to back us up.
Congratulations. It's
Thank
good to
you.
meet you. Now, are you a junior?
I am a junior now. I was a sophomore this past year.
Well, Miss Price is just loving life right now. She just has a lot of people back. Tressa? Tressa's giving me that look of, do I have to? Coach, why don't you introduce Tressa and tell me what she did this year?
Yeah, Coach. Thank you.
Tressa is our distance runner, middle distance, and she also was in that state championship mile relay. Broke a school record at the state meet, ran a 5:13 in the mile, was 4th, and she also ran the half and was 5th. Do I have that right? I thought she was going to tell
Sounds
me.
right.
Very talented, obviously, and again, last year was part of the mile relay that broke the school record too. But again, a key person at the state meet.
And I'll tell you what, man, you're breaking track records at Reading in the long, rich heritage that
Yes.
Reading has at track. You're setting a heck of a record
Yeah,
at that point.
we had a lot of them this year, so it's pretty exciting.
So Tressa, what was the highlight for you? What race are you the most proud of from the state meet?
The mile.
And you took 4th in that?
Yes.
So tell me about that race. Take that mic right up there and tell me all about it. You ran really hard, right?
Yes.
What do you think? What do you think was the difference for you? You know, running that race and you finished 4th. You know, was it the training that you put in? Do you just have a knack for long distance? What was the key for your success?
Just running hard in practice.
Let's give Tressa a big round of applause. Thank you, Tressa. We appreciate that. What's that? Coach, you call up my last person I need to talk to.
Summer, come on up.
Summer. Seeger is hiding from me. She's getting as far away from me as she can. What did Summer do? Tell me about Summer's track meet, Coach.
Summer was our pole vaulter.
Oh, that's right.
She also ran the 100 hurdles and the 300 hurdles, was key for us at some meets, getting us some points in those, especially at the team state meet, even though we still were second. She's definitely key, and 9-foot pole vaulter, so a contender for a lot of the meets for first place.
I remember when girls pole vaulting just started, what, 8-10 years ago, and you had to
So
wear,
do I.
You have to wear the helmet, Summer?
No, she hasn't been in that part.
Summer, talk about your vault. Did you feel pretty good about it? You think you had a chance to place at least?
Not at first. I wasn't really confident with myself, and then the coaches got a lot of practice with me. I dual sported, so I didn't really get a lot of practice, but when I did, they helped me a lot. I improved a lot, and they made me have more confidence in myself.
Are you afraid when you are 9-10 feet in the air, or does it not really bother you?
At first, I think I was really afraid. I pretty much closed my eyes and jumped, but now I like it.
Getting comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Good to meet you. Thank you for your time.
You too.
Summer, very much. Debbie, you have a great group of kids here. What an accomplishment. You have to be so proud of them.
Thank you. I am. That's for sure.
And you give them a little break this summer, and we go back at it next year.
Yep, no track. We're all glad to be done. As much fun as it was and all those the state meet, we're all like, we're tired, including me.
So how does that work when you win a track championship? Is there a banner that goes up somewhere? Does it go in the gym?
There'll be a banner in the gym with state championship.
For all time.
For all time.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Deb Price and the Reading Rangers, we want to thank all of you so much for being here. Congratulations on your state championship.